Today, right now, as you are watching this video, President Donald J. Trump is sitting face to face with Chinese President Xi Jinping inside the Great Hall of the People in Beijing. And the mainstream media, they spent the last 3 months telling you this trip was a sign of weakness, that Trump was going begging, that America was on its back heel. They were wrong, spectacularly, embarrassingly wrong, because what just happened in Beijing is not a desperate visit from a weakened America. What you are witnessing is a calculated power move by a president who walked into the most important room in the world, flanked by Elon Musk, Tim Cook, and Jensen Huang, three of the most powerful business minds on the planet. That is not weakness. That is leverage in a suit. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you are going to understand why this Beijing summit may be the single most consequential diplomatic event of the 21st century, and why Democrats, including Senator Elissa Slotkin, have completely misread this moment. Let's get into it. This week, Senator Elissa Slotkin went on CNBC's Squawk Box and said, and I'm paraphrasing, that President Trump is going to Beijing with his hands out. That closing the Strait of Hormuz has put America on its heels, that we are now dependent on China. Let me tell you what's wrong with that analysis. Everything. Here's what Senator Slotkin doesn't seem to understand about basic geopolitics. The Strait of Hormuz being partially closed does not hurt America the same way it hurts China. Why? Because America is energy independent. We are the world's largest producer of oil and gas. We have surplus. We are the seller in this equation. China imports roughly half its crude oil from the Middle East, the same shipping lanes that run through the Strait of Hormuz. Chinese ships are stranded. Chinese refineries are scrambling. So who has leverage here? The country that needs the oil or the country selling it? Trump showed up to Beijing as the world's largest energy exporter, with record-breaking trade numbers, a booming manufacturing sector, and Elon Musk at his side. That is not going begging. That is America negotiating from a position of historic strength. Let's talk about what is actually happening in the American economy right now, because the legacy media would rather you not know. Since Liberation Day, April 2nd, 2025, when President Trump launched his reciprocal tariff program, the U.S. goods trade deficit has fallen by 24% in a single year. Under Biden, that same deficit was growing 8% every year. Trump didn't just slow it, he reversed it. U.S. exports hit over $300 billion every single month in January, February, and March of this year. Those are the highest export figures in 250 years of American history, and each month broke the record of the month before. Major manufacturers are bringing production back to American soil. Stellantis, which makes Jeep and Dodge, has committed $1 billion to U.S. production. Toyota has pledged $10 billion in American manufacturing investment. And at the Pentagon, Secretary Pete Hegseth has been transforming the defense industrial base. Over 250 private investment deals in 39 states, more than 280 new or expanded manufacturing facilities, over 18 million square feet of new American factory floor, 70,000 new jobs, and growing. Here's what makes this different from anything Washington has done before. These are private investments, not taxpayer money. American companies investing their own capital into American manufacturing because they believe in this economy. Let me paint you a picture of what the Trump delegation looks like walking into Beijing. You have President Trump, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, and then the business titans Elon Musk of Tesla and SpaceX, Tim Cook of Apple, Jensen Huang of NVIDIA, the man whose chips power the entire AI revolution. These are not tourists. These are not photo opportunities. These are the people who represent America's technological and economic dominance. China's entire semiconductor industry is still years behind where NVIDIA sits today. China wants access to these markets. China wants these partnerships. Trump walked into Beijing with the keys in his hand, and Xi Jinping, a man who does not respond to weakness, greeted Trump personally on the steps of the Great Hall of the People. That image matters. Xi extended every diplomatic courtesy. He asked Trump the most profound question of the summit. Can the US and China avoid the Thucydides trap? That is the question that defines this century. Here's the bigger picture that nobody in Washington wants to talk about. For decades, global power has been organized around multilateral institutions. NATO, the G7, the rules-based international order that people like Mark Carney and Barack Obama are desperately trying to preserve. But what if the 21st century isn't organized around those crumbling institutions? What if the future is a G2, a world where the two largest economies on the planet, America and China, find areas of mutual interest and reshape global relationships around them? That idea, first proposed by economist C. Fred Bergston in 2005, has suddenly become very relevant again. And Trump may be the only American president capable of making it happen precisely because he is transactional. He doesn't come with ideological baggage, he comes with deals. Think about what's on the table in Beijing right now. Trade, a new framework to replace the failed Phase 1 deal from Trump's first term. American exports are at record highs. China is looking for supply chain stability. Iran, both countries want the Strait of Hormuz open. Both countries lose if global oil markets remain disrupted. This is one of the few areas where American and Chinese interests directly overlap. Technology, AI safety, semiconductor supply chains, and space cooperation are all on the table. The country that dominates these sectors in the next decade controls the economic future of the planet. Nuclear energy? China just successfully refueled a working thorium molten salt reactor in the Gobi Desert while it was running. A world first. America is building 10 new large nuclear reactors by 2030 under Trump's Executive Order 14302. Joint cooperation here could transform global energy. And then there's space. China is targeting a crewed moon landing before 2030. Trump's Artemis program is aiming for the moon by 2027. SpaceX has the most advanced reusable launch system on Earth. What happens when you put these capabilities in conversation with each other? This is the world Trump is trying to build, and it is far bigger than anything the legacy media is covering. While Trump was preparing for Beijing, what were the Democrats doing? They were in Toronto. Senator Slotkin, Barack Obama, Mark Carney, Canada's Prime Minister who built his career serving the global banking system, Alex Soros, representatives from the Center for American Progress. They were holding a closed-door summit trying to figure out how to recapture the American working class. Think about that. They had to fly to another country to hold a secret meeting to figure out how to talk to the people they were supposed to represent. And their answer: keep the Ukraine war going, rebuild the rules-based international order, rely on European defense spending to revive collapsing economies that have already proven they cannot compete. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, their man in London, Keir Starmer, Tony Blair's heir, and Obama's chosen safe pair of hands, just got absolutely crushed in the UK local elections. His own voters are rejecting the globalist vision he was supposed to carry forward. The old world they are trying to save is not coming back. I want to be clear about something. This is not just geopolitics happening in a boardroom thousands of miles away. This is about whether American workers have good-paying jobs, whether your energy bills go up or down, whether America leads the next industrial revolution or watches from the sidelines. Every new factory that opens in Ohio, Michigan, or Texas because of Trump's tariff policies is a direct consequence of this renegotiation of America's relationship with the world. Every barrel of American oil that gets sold to a world facing energy shortages funds American families. Every semiconductor plant, every AI company, every space launch that happens on American soil, these are the things that determine whether your children inherit a strong country or a hollowed out one. That is what is at stake in Beijing right now. And that is why this summit matters, not just for today's news cycle, but for the next 50 years. So let me bring it all together for you. Senator Slotkin told you Trump was going begging. The media told you America was weak. The Toronto crowd told you the rules-based order was worth preserving. What actually happened? Trump walked into Beijing with the world's largest economy at his back, record-breaking exports in his pocket, Elon Musk and Tim Cook at his side, and a China that, for all its strength, still needs American markets, American technology, and American energy stability. Xi Jinping greeted him at the steps of the Great Hall of the People and asked if they could avoid war and build a brighter future together. That is called winning. While Democrats are holding secret meetings in Toronto, Trump is reshaping the world order in Beijing. While Obama and Carney are trying to preserve a dying system, Trump is building a new one. And the American people, the workers, the manufacturers, the innovators, are the ones who benefit. Stay informed, stay engaged, and as always, don't believe what the legacy media is selling you. Watch what actually happens. If you found this valuable, please hit that like button. It helps us reach more people with the real story. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a breakdown like this one. I'll see you in the next video.